Shedeur's camp should want Joe to be that guy to go in and finish that game, because the game plan is for Dylan Gabriel. These are some NFL players talking this through. And he's like, because that particular game plan is for Dylan Gabriel. And then that next game, that's when you would want Shedeur to start fresh first quarter as a starting quarterback. I'm not sure if I buy that or not.
No, I think that's as optimistic as the people who thought he was going to start when they bench Flacco.
That's what that sounds like.
You're just straining yourself to come up with something positive.
Yeah.
And the reality is the Cleveland Browns, after they drafted Shedeur Sanders, have shown him zero respect. That's the reality of it. They've kind of undercut him at every opportunity, and it's baffling now why they bothered to draft him
in the first place,
in the way that they've treated him.
Yeah.
And that's just where we're at with this. I mean, he needs to get out of Cleveland.
The Cleveland Browns, okay? So sleepy old Joe Flacco, he's out, okay, as the starting quarterback. And for some apparent reason, people thought that Shedeur was going to just be named in here, but all along, of course, Dylan Gabriel. Who is Doug? Maybe I'm thinking about Doug Williams.
UCF receiver.
Oh, okay. So it is a Doug Gabriel. Okay.
Yeah.
But Dylan Gabriel was the backup quarterback this entire time. He was named the backup quarterback after preseason, and Shedeur was third. And so Dylan Gabriel is going to get out there, and he's going to have his opportunity as the second string quarterback. And what's interesting about this, my takeaway, is Shedeur is still listed as the third string quarterback.
Yeah.
So Joe is now he's slotted in as second string quarterback. Now, and I'm going to let you go, but listen to this theory here, is that they said that the reason for that is because you trot Dylan Gabriel out as the starting quarterback now, and if something happens to him mid-game or what have you, you would want, Shedeur's camp should want Joe to be that guy to go in and finish that game, because the game plan is for Dylan Gabriel. These are some NFL players talking this through. And he's like, because that particular game plan is for Dylan Gabriel. And then that next game, that's when you would want Shedeur to start fresh first quarter as a starting quarterback. I'm not sure if I buy that or not.
No, I think that's as optimistic as the people who thought he was going to start when they bench Flacco.
That's what that sounds like.
You're just straining yourself to come up with something positive.
Yeah.
And the reality is the Cleveland Browns, after they drafted Shedeur Sanders, have shown him zero respect. That's the reality of it. They've kind of undercut him at every opportunity, and it's baffling now why they bothered to draft him
in the first place,
in the way that they've treated him.
Yeah.
And that's just where we're at with this. I mean, he needs to get out of Cleveland desperately. The only thing that saves him is like a double injury at this point, where they have no one else to do but start him.
Yeah, that's what happened with Dak, by the way.
Yeah.
That's how Dak got his run in Dallas started.
Yeah,
a double injury.
And the problem is, like, you could work on things in practice and learn and theoretically improve, but if you never get the opportunity to show it in a game, it's kind of useless. I mean, that's just a hardcore reality. At the end of the day, when you are a quarterback, when you're a professional athlete in any position, like, you need the opportunity to show what you can do when the lights are on. And if you never get that, your value just bottoms out. Like,
quickly.
You will be perceived. And again, this is why this is a slight. Like, you bench a guy, elevate a new guy to the starter, and you keep the third guy. What does that signal to everyone? You don't have confidence in him.
Like, at all.
At all. And so, like, now anybody who's like, maybe they're thinking about kicking the tires on, can we get him? It's like, hey, he's still third. I mean, he must not be doing a thing.
Because even if the players, the former NFL players, are right on that theory, which we're already shaky on, just for a confidence booster, you just place Shedeur as the second string quarterback, just as, hey, we have appreciated the work that you've done in practice and all of that. Yeah. We're pulling Joe anyhow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no future with Joe Flacco. 4 games into an NFL season in which he's 41 or 42 years old.
Yeah.
You've benched him for performance.
Yeah.
Like, that says
It's over.
everything.
It's over.
It's over. You know, you're turning it over to the young guy. You might as well turn it over to the other young guy behind him. And if somehow both those guys are unplayable or get injured, yeah, we'll roll it back over to Joe to close out the year.
Yeah.
The fact that that's not what's happening just tells you the whole story.
Yeah, it does. Now, did you see Shedeur's response or non-response?
Didn't like it at
He
all.
was basically was just remained quiet. It was like he was like miming his response when asked about him being the third stringer or whatever.
Yeah.
Gave him the silent treatment.
I hated it. I think it was immature. I think it was stupid in the sense of, like, okay, maybe things aren't happening in Cleveland and maybe you are getting screwed, which I begin to feel. But, like, you got to be you. Like, you're still, like, a guy who wants to start in the league, who believes in himself. That's not the way to go about it. Who's looking at that saying, you're my leader, you're my guy? And that's what you're trying to get to. You know, I could take some of the flashier stuff, you know, even something boastful over that, which was just childish to me.
Yeah.
It didn't, you know, what did it do? Again, it gets you in front of the
Headlines.
cameras, people talking about it, but not in a good way. Not anything to do with playing good football.
You know what's another thing that's most interesting, and I know what has a part of this is because his last name is Sanders, but we haven't heard from or seen Dylan Gabriel the entire season. Every week is a quote or a non-quote or something that Shedeur is saying. You know, I'm better than. Just last week it was. You know, these other quarterbacks in the league. I'm playing better than some of these guys.
Yeah.
And I really wish the reporter would have asked him, like, who are these guys that you've been better than? I think that was a Cam Ward diss, and I think that was a Joe Flacco diss.
Yeah.
And, you know, Cam Ward and Tennessee, they are struggling right now. But mind you, Shedeur, like, you know, Tennessee had the number one pick in the draft. They were the terrible team. Like, they're the worst team in the league. They have nothing over there.
A lot of people actually feel Cam's playing pretty well, but the team around him is that bad.
They're really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and we saw that last year. I mean, before, you know, they're just a terrible team, and they're building their way up. They need a few more drafts to even get some more talent.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, you had a high draft, you get Cam, but, like, I mean, again, you probably had salary cap space because you don't have any good players that you have to pay. You had other draft picks that were in the front end of those respective rounds, and you're this bad. I think the coach's got to go.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, whoever was, you know, GM-wise got to go too.
Yeah.
You've done nothing. You drafted the best available player in the top spot and done nothing to support him and build around him. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like, when quarterbacks get off to bad starts, when they get beat up, when they get, you know, too much pressure, and I'm talking like, you know, pass rush pressure, their technique and their form deteriorates. And now you've got a whole set of other problems
to deal with moving forward.
Right, as far as just developing a guy that does have a pretty high level of talent.
Houston, you know, last week, Houston, Texas came into that game with no wins.
Yeah.
Tennessee Titans had no wins. Houston wins that game 26-0.
Yeah.
That just cannot fucking happen.
Right.
Somebody at the end of this year, if this trend continues, the heads have to roll. I don't care if it's your first year or whatever.
I think if it continues for another 2 weeks, they got to step
heads got to roll. Oh yeah,
and get it out. Because what are you gonna do? You're gonna go through the 17 times.
Yeah.
And again, if you're not making any progress, if you're not getting any more competitive in these games,
you have to see
like,
at least
what
that.
are we're doing? We're wasting an entire year.
Yeah.
Like, we got to do something to energize the team. You know, get Cam some weapons or something that we can build on.
Now back to Cleveland. One interesting thing as well for Shedeur. If Shedeur doesn't see the field for the rest of the season, okay, and they just rock out with Dylan Gabriel, and even if he plays well or whatever, it's just no room for Shedeur to come in.
Yeah,
you're right. Shedeur has to and you don't see this in the NFL, but he has to force his way out some kind of way.
And it's crazy, like a third string guy conceivably forcing his way out.
Yeah. We don't see first string guys doing it.
That's
Second string guys doing it, but third string is like inconceivable. But he has to, because, and another thing is, it's not just because of Dylan, and not because they got Joe at second string. Cleveland has all of this draft ammo. And that's another thing for Dylan to watch out for as well, because this is considered to be a better quarterbacks draft than it was in their particular draft. So Cleveland has Jacksonville Jaguars first round pick. They have their own first round pick. They're going to be a bad team. And so they have all of this ammo. I mean, they can whatever. They can call it. They can name their quarterback that they want in this next draft.
Yeah.
And so that's an issue too for Shedeur.
And if
he never sees the field.
And again, a precedent for that would be Josh Rosen with the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
He was a rookie guy, drafted 10th. They had some hope, obviously, for him. And then, he had a couple moments, but then Kyler Murray's available.
In the next season.
They went top, picked Kyler Murray, and he's been the quarterback ever since. Josh Rosen's, I don't know, maybe having a hot tub party at UCLA. But I don't know. But that's the reality. So whether, with high draft picks available to them, if Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur, if he ends up playing, if neither one of those guys blow anybody away,
it's over.
And Cleveland has the chance to pick a top guy in this upcoming draft that they feel is going to be the guy. And again, their investment. I mean, Josh Rosen was taken 10th overall in the first round.
Yeah, that's deep.
We're talking about 3rd and 5th round guys.
Yeah, so
there's not a lot of money tied to either one of those dudes
at all.
At all. And not even the draft. Like, if those guys don't step up and perform at a good level, they'll kick the tires in the free agent market as well for quarterback.
Yeah.
And see if they can make something happen there.
No, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see how that cookie crumbles there. I do like Dylan a little. So it'd be interesting to see how he performs. Now, of course, I would like to root for Shedeur as well, but it's tough, man. He's in a tough situation. Now I think they play tomorrow, Thursday night, right?
Do they have Thursday night game? I didn't know.
Yeah, let me check that really quick.
But in the meantime, Dylan Gabriel, he's got a little Baker Mayfield in him. This is a guy that went to UCF from Hawaii. Now he followed Mackenzie Milton, a fellow Hawaiian, but gets out there, wins the starting job at the beginning of his career at UCF, transfers to Oklahoma, wins the job there, has a good productive season on a ranked team, then transfers to Oregon and wins the job there and has a team that was number 1 or 2 for the majority of the year and led them to the playoffs. Right. I mean, this is a guy, and here, continue the narrative, this is a guy that will go into week 5 of the NFL season as a starter on a team that took him in the 3rd round.
Yeah, so it's like
like this guy has a trend of I show up and I win jobs.
Yeah.
So, you got to respect him for that.
You got to respect him for that. And no, they have the early Sunday morning game because they're in another country
overseas
or whatever.
Game.
Yeah. So it's
where are they at? Oh, I think they're playing in London. I think they're at Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice stadium.
Playing the Vikings, a really, really fucking good defense. And a lot of people were like, they didn't want him to start until the next week. But
Were the Vikings did they play Pittsburgh last week overseas?
Was
as well?
It?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they got back-to-back overseas games.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
They got screwed in that one.
I don't know if you like playing overseas.
But back-to-back?
Yeah. Well, you just stay there the whole time.
Oh, okay.
You're not gonna jump in a flight.
Yeah, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
a lot of losers in that stadium. No, Tottenham is known for not winning anything.
Oh, okay. Soccer wise.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the fans.
No.
I'm just joking.
Probably have a lot of drunken blokes in that stadium.
Oh man. You're still on the Bitch podcast with Bubba and Pink on my sports, music, and mayhem. We're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff.